Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Mike and T-Roy. I apologize in advance. I've got a couple lozenges in my throat.
Oh, it's professional shit.
Yeah, very.
You throw some Tic Tacs in there, balance it out.
No.
I got some oranges.
They're the best. Mm-hmm. Those in the light green. Yeah, not good.
It's a great start.
Be gone in a sec, but I don't know what I did. I had a sip of water, and it just went right down the wrong tube part.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Oh, it's the worst. And then I start coughing. I can't stop. And then I would breathe in, and it was like, I was getting this weird wheeze, like I had a hole in my throat all of a sudden.
Maybe a little water's still stuck in there.
I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem like that would be the case, but I don't know.
Who knows?
But I've got this bag of 10-year-old Ludens.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they ferment. I think you can get a buzz off those now.
Seriously?
No, but it sounds good.
It sure does. It wouldn't surprise me either.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
Is Ludens the best? I mean, they're absolutely worthless, but they're...
Yeah, but they're delicious.
Oh, my God. It's one of the best candies.
It's like a Jolly Rancher.
Yeah, but better.
And it makes you feel good because it's supposed to be doing something.
Yeah, it's medicine.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's medicine. It's
Right?
fixing me.
Much better than a Ricola.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Ricola's bullshit.
They have a time and a place, but, you know.
Yeah, if you really need
It's not
something.
for your enjoyment.
Ludens, you could just take those into the movie theater and eat them like any other candy.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
Well, they
yeah.
don't have that, like that mentholyptus or whatever, that sort of, that minty thing that most of those have. That's just more of a subtle cherry.
Yeah.
Yeah, smooth.
But it's a good cherry.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a very good candy
Yeah,
cherry.
you just don't get that that medicine-y aftertaste to it.
I would say Ludens are to cough drops what Flintstone vitamins are to vitamins.
Fair. That's legit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I could just eat a bottle of
Still
Flintstone
getting something out
vitamins.
of it, yeah?
Yeah. Or, like you said a second ago, you feel like you're getting something out of it.
Yeah.
Even though you probably aren't. But, hey, placebo's fine with me.
Whatever works.
If it fixes the hole that's currently in my throat and the wheeze, the coughing, then I'll take it.
Don't forget a little squirt of your entertainer's secret.
Ah, yeah, I'm running low on that.
Oh,
I
boy.
had 2 bottles. I've gone through 2 bottles. It's taken 5 years, but
Yeah, I mean, you are quite the entertainer.
quite the entertainer.
Not much of a secret anymore, though.
Yeah, all of us top entertainers use entertainer
of
secret.
course.
I mean, it's just, ask Billy Joel, ask anybody else. They'll tell
Yeah.
you. We all say the same thing.
But it's like Fight Club. You're not supposed to talk about it. Otherwise
Right.
It's going to be a secret.
Well, you brought it up.
Yeah.
The entertainer kept the secret.
That's fair.
Yeah.
My
How are you doing, T?
I'm fucking great.
Yeah.
So good.
Why?
Why?
I feel like that's 2 days in a row now you give me that answer.
I'm great.
And I feel like it's coded in something that I don't understand.
What could be wrong with great? I'm great.
Well, the way you say great. There's
Fucking
multiple
great.
ways to say great, like fucking great.
Yeah.
Or, no, dude, I'm fucking great.
I'm fucking great.
Yeah, you said it that time, but now you're acting.
Am I?
I know your acting skills are on point.
Well, then why didn't I act the first time?
I don't know.
I'm
Tell
great.
me.
But thank you for asking. Lovely.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear.
Yes.
Interesting day in football yesterday. We'll get to that. Also, some weird NFL news. Weird. Like fan stuff.
All right.
And we'll get to that coming up in a little bit. Russell Brand going nowhere in the news.
Still
More
right up on top.
accusations.
I've
Yeah.
seen some old clips bouncing around.
Oh, God, those drive me nuts.
Yeah. Drawing up shit that seemed totally fine at the time. Now
Sure.
it's like, oh, look at this.
Yeah. It's so obvious when someone's going for the laugh, and you just make yourself disingenuous when you can't acknowledge.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, someone's going for the laugh here. Most people like that know where the line is, and you do, it's a balance act. And that's what
I've 100% said many things on this microphone that I do not actually mean.
99% of what I say on this microphone, I don't actually mean.
No.
Probably. Especially if we're doing smart-assy shit.
Right.
Like, none of that. You're only going for the laugh.
Of course.
That's it. And if that means, we're having a conversation about Jew bees, and we it doesn't mean we're anti-Semitic.
Nope.
But if there's if there's a way to be funny with Jews and candy,
Yeah, why not?
yeah, go for it. Why not?
That's the point, I think.
Yeah, spick and span. The WAP, you know what I mean? There's lots of foods out there that we've talked about over the years that could be some form of something, but trust me, it's all about the laugh. Because I don't hate spicks.
No?
I don't hate Jews.
Good.
No, I don't hate WAPs.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah,
good.
I don't
good to
hate
hear.
N-words. None of it.
Refreshing.
Yeah. I bet you didn't know that about me.
I wasn't sure. Jury was out. But
Yeah.
It's good to hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
Thank you. Russell Brand accused today. So we've been hearing sexual assault. We've been hearing rape. Today he's
we got
accused.
Fresh accusations? Mm-hmm. Oh, boy.
These ones sting.
All right.
Today was accused of deliberately building an online cult to make him uncancelable and then insulate the millions in income from his wellness and conspiracy theory videos.
Wow, that's
That's
a stretch.
He's thinking. He's a smart guy, but he's thinking
Yeah,
ahead.
he was way out in front of that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He knew this day was coming.
I love the way they just act like conspiracy theory videos. Okay, so let's clear up what his. Now, I don't listen to Russell Brand very often.
Not a ton. I've seen some here and there, but
Seen some. Impressed.
Yeah.
He does a good job. He's
I like where his
funny.
head's at these days.
Yeah. He's gone from like super lib to kind of waking up a little bit in some respects and going, yeah, that doesn't seem right. And he's always kind of attacked power. That's what he's done.
Yeah, he's not really on a team anymore. He's just sort of
Kind of floating.
calling out bullshit where he sees bullshit,
Yeah. Which is what people should do.
especially people in the media.
Yeah. Love that. And if the media is not going to do their job, like at all, then why not have people welcome Joe Rogan, welcome Russell
Maher.
Brand, Bill Maher
Yeah.
is waking up to some shit.
Yep.
It's nice to see people that don't have the handcuffs that traditional media outlets have. And
You
if
know
you
what?
don't, you know,
What I like about Bill Maher with his side of it is that he still despises Trump.
and the right, in general.
But he doesn't let that blindfold him
Yeah.
to everything else, which
Right.
is where a lot of that disconnect comes from.
Which
That
is
you're
why I
so-
love Jimmy Dore too.
Right. Exactly.
Same thing.
You
Hates
can-
Trump, but
and that's fine. And you're allowed to. That's what this country's based on.
hell yeah.
But it doesn't define every other aspect of your being.
Yeah. I don't like the opening sentence of a story like this where it's like his conspiracy theories podcast, where it's like, oh,
That's all he's doing. He's
Yeah.
the new Alex Jones, is he?
right. And so that's a way to just knock him down or discredit him, really.
Exactly right.
To say like he's doing a flat earther show, right? 9/11 was an inside job type of thing. Those are conspiracy theories. Who shot JFK? Less of a conspiracy nowadays. But that type of thing. The moon is fake. The moon landing was fake.
Yeah.
His are stuff like, masks don't work. Media and political corruption is everywhere. He might have done stuff on ivermectin, and it basically comes back to, yeah, I don't know what that does exactly, but I know they're full of shit,
Yep.
right?
They don't like being called out.
Yeah. So he's taken issue with the border invasion. It's nothing short of an invasion at this point. Now, you may be someone out there that goes, America could use a lot more people in it. This is good. You can have that opinion. It's a shitty opinion.
Yep.
But you're entitled to have it. But to say it's anything but that's just calling out what it is. When you have 7 million people illegally crash your border with no identification, no background checks,
Right.
no nothing for 2.5 years.
And with no path to citizenship.
No.
Really. None.
No,
Whatsoever. So what's the goal? What's the gain here? What's the benefit of it? Even if you think we do need more people, fine. Okay. Where's the benefit of the people?
Yeah. It's not.
Right.
And I'm just pointing out, we're not going to get into a
No.
deep discussion about these types of things, but this is what makes him a conspiracy theorist. This is how you discredit someone and just shut them down.
You start seeing it immediately.
Right.
When these are the tactics that they use.
Yeah.
That it's just an attempt to discredit him, to lose all credibility.
Yeah.
And that so he won't be taken seriously no matter what happens.
Exactly.
It's
That's
trying to form the court of public opinion.
It's exactly what it is. Here's the reality. The guy now has his content viewed more than 1 billion times.
And that's the problem.
Since Me Too in 2017. So you could try to just attack that. Like, he's just a conspiracy theorist. Don't listen to him. They did the same thing with Rogan. They've done it with countless others. Or you can go, why are 1 billion people interested in what this guy has to say? Maybe It's because it's so transparently obvious that you're peddling nonsense and bullshit and lies that people are desperate to find it somewhere else. That's what's going on there.
Yeah.
And so you can just, with no proof, you can just claim someone's a conspiracy theorist.
Exactly.
But, they
it's
say...
because the thing that it's one thing if it's something that is easily provable one way or the other. But these things that he's speaking out against are not. When you start talking, COVID and the vaccines and things.
Yeah.
But they'll
his was more about government control.
Right. But they'll never admit it. But my point is that it's not something that you'll ever be able to prove factually false or correct.
Yeah.
It's sort of an opinion on things.
Yep.
And so...
Well, his show, they estimate, is making over $1 million a year. Just doing a handful of videos a week on YouTube. That's outside of advertising and outside of merchandising and shit like that, where he probably doubles that.
Sure.
At least. Today, YouTube cut off his income, stopping him from being able to earn any money through his channel for violating our creator responsibility policy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
but they say he could still make movies and stuff for his legion of fans. So he can make money making movies.
But he can't. They demonetized him on YouTube, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
No proof. It's not like he lost a case in court.
Right. Again,
there's not
even criminal charges in this.
No.
As far as I'm aware.
No. And what does that have to do with his content, anyways? If he's talking about an invasion at the southern border. What exactly does that have to do with?
Oh, this is something about his content. This isn't about his actions.
Oh, I'm assuming it is.
Yeah.
They've just dipped, just like, we believe all women.
Oh, just like the
pull that stunt.
GoFundMe, where they can just yank it arbitrarily for what they don't believe in.
Right. Exactly.
So they can now do that with the YouTube as well.
Right. Right. Critics, fellow comedians.
Hello, Twitter.
Yeah.
Goodbye, YouTube.
Yeah, which is why he's on Rumble, which is why Steven Crowder has moved to Rumble. Our show's on Rumble.
Yep.
It's just not as popular or as easy, it is as easy, but for people to remember or,
it's got that.
There's lag issues.
It's got that right-wing fucking stigma to it, though.
Does Rumble have that too? Yeah.
It does.
Was that Bongino and those guys? I think
I'm not sure who started it, but it's got that taint to it.
Well, when you see guys like Jimmy Dore, Joe Rogan, Bill Maher probably with his, Russell Brand, all pushing for Rumble, those are historical, very, very, very left people. Those are not, and they're not conservative now.
Right.
They might sound like it. You might, as a liberal, take super issue with their stance on things, but historically, they are in no way conservatives and probably would not vote conservative.
Yeah.
So they, critics, fellow comedians, and experts, I'd love to see what their definition of experts are.
Exactly.
Have accused Brand of grooming a cult online and claim it was deliberate because he knew he would be accused in the future of abusing women.
Yeah, that's a stretch for sure.
Yeah, that's a new one. That's kind of cool. By the way, I will tell you, I was known as a cult leader. Still am to some people.
Sure.
But I actually had a pretty good that stuck for quite a while. I don't quite feel like a cult leader anymore. In no way is someone like Russell Brand, and I'm not comparing myself to Russell Brand at all, or someone like me or anyone else trying to be like that's defined what a cult is. Like someone that's trying to fuck all your women and do it under the guise of religion and I know shit you don't know, that's a cult, right? People just trying to gain a following, and that just means you have diehard fans that will go to bat for you, will defend you. That doesn't... He wanted to groom a cult-like audience? Like, fuck off. He wants listeners.
Of course.
That's what he wants.
Whatever they say is irrelevant. The words they use are irrelevant.
True. But you see those words over, like cult or
conspiracy
theory videos.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, that's all he's doing over there. Don't pay attention. But that just, for stupid people who, I love it when it's like, oh, tell me you've never listened to Joe Rogan without telling me you've never listened to Joe Rogan.
Right.
You could do that and they'll say the same shit, all of them. And it's like, oh, you read the first sentence of an article and then went, fucking piece of shit, and moved on. You didn't listen to it. You took a bad read in a courtroom and based your entire opinion on that. At least you and I have listened to Joy Reid. Like, I know what she sounds like. I know what Rachel Maddow and Don Lemon, I know what they're doing. We painfully watch that shit. You
gotta know. Gotta keep an eye on all sides.
Exactly. So, feminist author and social activist, boy, oh boy, sounds like a real peach, doesn't it?
Yeah, right.
I mean,
I'm assuming single as well.
Yeah.
Or partnered.
Do you think she's got natural hair color going?
Nope.
You don't?
Nope. There's probably even some part of it that's shaved.
Okay, that's new. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but you're probably right. Either the back or the sides.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think she's got any item of clothing that has some form of a rainbow on it?
All of it.
Yeah.
What's the name?
Naomi Klein. Watch, she's some smoke show. Fucking just a random brunette.
Is that KL?
It's Klein.
Yep.
She's Canadian as well.
Yep.
How do we do? Because I honestly have no idea what she looks like.
Not a smoke show and not a lesbian. Well, I don't know about a lesbian, but it doesn't have the haircut, and it's natural hair color.
Really?
I mean, I can't promise the curtains match the drapes, but
right.
It's a normal color.
So it's not a purple hairdo with shaved on the side. Okay, all right, fair enough. I'm glad we looked it up. She tweeted, of course Russell Brand's followers deny the allegations. He has groomed an audience to deny, disbelieve everything they see and hear, which is very different from healthy skepticism.
Jeez.
Is it, though?
No.
Is it? Why is it able to, why are people able to groom, for lack of a better term, other people, or are they just slowly and accurately explaining exactly what you're seeing on a daily basis? And once those people, when you have an audience, if you don't always have to be right, it helps that you're mostly right. It also helps when you can admit when you're wrong about something. But when that audience comes to believe that they can trust you, they will run through fire for you in a lot of respects. Yep. They will defend you. They will stand up for you. They will do that stuff if they feel like this guy doesn't have a hidden agenda and he's bullshitting me. He's not being honest. He's, who's paying him? Where's his shit coming from? Like,
it's Trumpism.
Right.
In a way. It's his following on some level.
Yeah, on some level. Healthy skepticism, by the way, you should have.
Of course.
You should have healthy skepticism. Absolutely. That was the whole point of the media, by the way.
You're ignorant.
The point of the media was to have healthy skepticism about those in power. Yeah. Like they'll run wild if there's no one keeping tabs on them, holding them to account. Healthy skepticism. You should all have that. So, and by the way, he has not groomed an audience to deny and disbelieve everything they see and hear.
No.
He's talking about certain things, just like we are.
And if something were to come out that was, horrific, they'd turn on him in a second. Mm-hmm. That's the reality of it.
100%. If there was a video of him fucking beating some girl down and ripping her clothes off and raping her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
But it doesn't seem to be the case. They're trying to build this case out of air.
Not yet.
And win the court of public opinion.
This knee-jerk denialism is precisely why people with plenty of skeletons in the closet love conspiracy culture. They have a built-in defense against accountability. It's all a conspiracy, always. I've met Brand, been on his show. It took a hell of a lot of courage for these women to come forward. They all have my solidarity. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where's your healthy skepticism there?
Guess what the name of her 5th book was?
I Hate Men.
Well, let's see. We'll start with the 4th one.
Okay.
This changes everything. Capitalism versus the climate.
Okay.
Give you an idea where we're at. The 5th book. No, it's not enough. Resisting Trump's shock politics. Winning the world we need.
You're a Canadian. Stay up there. Why don't you deal with your fucking Prime Minister blackface and let Americans worry about Trump? Mm-hmm. How about that? How about we start there, sweet tits?
Here we go. Her 7th book, on fire. The burning case for a Green New Deal.
Oh, God,
It's the fucking Canadian AOC.
Yeah.
I hate her already.
I hate her, too. Is she cute, at least?
No.
No, good.
No.
Thank you.
I mean, she's not, like, offensive looking, but,
Yeah.
I wouldn't look back.
Yeah. And by the way, if these comics or these strategists or these news people think that you're going to change my mind or my opinion on someone like Russell Brand by just saying something, like not giving any facts, not digging in and interviewing people that have made these claims or allegations, but just by saying, this is what they're doing. They're grooming an audience so you'll believe anything he says, blah, blah. Like, that's not a good defense for your argument.
No.
That's not going to make me go, well, now that you mention it. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Comedian Rosie Holt said, I guess the lesson is, kids, if sexual misconduct rumors have been swimming about you for ages, set up a cult on YouTube to support you when the allegations become public.
That's so asinine. I mean,
that is quite
ignorant
a stretch
on his face to think on some level that's what this is, as opposed to that. I'm offended that we're even giving it air.
Yeah.
Well,
I just want to point out to people, there's some issues with the Danny Masterson case that I've recently started to read about where I go, that seems odd. And I don't know enough about it. And the fact that he was a Scientologist made me just write him off in general. Like, celebrity and Scientology, they'll go to great lengths to cover you. And knowing that, I was like, well, fuck that guy. But there's some stuff to that story. Did you realize those rape allegations go back more than 20 years?
No.
And those stories have changed?
Okay.
Yeah. And so I haven't done enough research into it and to take a stance either way.
Yeah.
But enough to go.
Nor should you. No matter what
shit.
research you do, because you were not there.
Right.
So you really shouldn't have a stance either way, for
But
the most part.
it's a little scary to think that anybody can come to you 20 years, because you do not have DNA. You do not have video. You don't have any clothing from 20 years ago that would stand up in court.
You don't have phone records. You don't have text messages.
Nothing.
You don't have emails. You don't have
It's basically he said, she said, and they took that guy's life and threw him in prison forever, 30 years.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, he'll probably die there if he were to do all that time. And, I don't know, but it just seems like, oh, well, wait a minute. Everything I read was just that he raped. And it's like, well, so anyway, another writer tweeted, Russell Brand has known this day was coming for him since October 2017. Since then, he's strategically cultivated and groomed a new mentally malleable cult following that
Mentally malleable, huh?
Yeah.
That's what they're calling his fans?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see how that works out for you.
Yeah. That distrusts both women and the media so he can continue getting high on his other drug of choice, the spotlight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. By the way, if you want to ensure that most of us have a healthy bit of skepticism about the articles that all come out, when you all use the same wording, like cultivating a cult, when you all seem to use that phrase, this is what you people do every time there's a story.
Yeah.
It's like you got a memo the night before that said tomorrow's headline.
Or you're just piggybacking off somebody else's shit.
Right.
Well, either way is completely
Bullshit.
unacceptable.
Yeah, completely.
But yeah, I'm guessing it's one of the most terrifying clips I've ever seen is all the news anchors saying the exact same thing.
Oh, the hundreds of them. Was that Cox Media?
Yes, yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just terrifying when you realize the memo went out and everybody just bought it.
Yeah.
Who's to say that doesn't happen daily?
Unfortunately, it used to be media used to be a really grimy business. It was not a business where, you had people go from Ivy League schools like it is now. It was kind of blue collar, dirty, grimy, on the beat work.
Yeah.
And now, see, now it's very much super liberal. They're all groomed in the same way and indoctrinated at the same schools. And then they get these jobs. And for
it's more
them,
about them than the story now.
100% it is. And they love being on camera or being writers in a magazine, whatever that is. They don't want to lose that because they're as narcissistic as anyone they're covering. That's why they go into that type of work. You know, I'm so good, I need to be heard and seen and blah, blah, blah. So if that means selling your soul a little bit and just following today's memo, here's what we have to say about everything. If that's what it takes to make sure your stupid face stays on that camera.
Oh, yeah.
So
Hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, no problem.
Take it and run with it.
Yeah. So the idea, there's just very few and far between how many people are actually doing journalism out there. You know, the Charlie LaDuffs of the world are rogue entities.
That's true.
You know?
Yep. Well, and the reality is, sadly, that even the ones that are actually doing the investigation part of it are generally targeted anyway. They're not doing it independently. They're doing it in a certain direction. Their target's aimed in a certain place, whichever side it is.
Yeah.
Now, they might be doing some good, decent journalism as far as uncovering the facts and getting the facts of the story.
Yeah.
But it's one-sided. It's not fair and impartial. So it's even when they're doing it right, they're doing it wrong.
I think of is it the Indy Star?
Indianapolis Star?
Is it the Indianapolis Star or the Indy Star?
It might be the Indy Star, but yeah,
I think
I wasn't
it
sure
was
what
the
you
Indy Star.
meant.
The Indy Star broke the story of the Olympic doctor Nasser.
Oh, okay.
Larry Nasser. That was little old Indy Star that hunted that down and did real journalism work to get that story out to the mainstream and break that.
Yeah.
You know? And that's a smaller paper in a not top 10 market.
And that was also...
It wasn't my point being, it wasn't USA Today. It wasn't the New York Times.
Yeah. But that also wasn't political.
Right.
On any level.
True.
That was a huge story, but not political.
Right.
So,
but it was buried by a lot of people that disregarded the girls, which is why they're getting paid off now.
Yeah.
Because you blew them off. You could have ended this 20 years earlier, that story, by believing all women, you know, Olympic athletes.
At least some of them.
Yeah, and too many people went like, oh, he's a brilliant doctor on this team, and oh my God, they're Olympians. He's above reproach.
Yeah, there was too many people that went to bat for him.
Yeah, exactly. And the Indy Star went, hold on a second.
Yeah.
You know, and it takes that kind of thing. But you're absolutely right about the lens being pointed where it needed to be pointed because it wasn't political.
Exactly.
So they were able to point it just here. Let's focus here.
There was no real pressure to bury that story.
Right.
Because there was no reason to.
Right.
You know, whether if it's on a political spectrum, there's going to be pressure coming from one side or the other.
Yeah. And we've seen it time and again. They go kicking and screaming to not, you know, even when they've proven to be dead wrong about something. Russia collusion's a great example.
Yep.
Hunter's laptop is a wonderful example.
Still going.
Still going to some extent. But the Times, New York Times and Washington Post finally came out and went, okay, it was real. It was real all along.
Yeah.
Fuck. It's like, well, there's no repercussions for that.
None at all.
You know, and they just say it on page 8 quietly.
Bury it. It's fine.
It's like, I know this was
Nothing
front
comes
page
of it.
blotter for...
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
I mean, it did
for
what needed to
7
be done.
years.
So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
They're probably hoping that it was going to they were going to get another year and a half out of it.
Probably.
You know,
Yeah.
just to make sure.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, they wouldn't have cared come November 24.
Nope.
At all. But you're right. And how many people read that or just skimmed past it and blew it off anyways? The hatred is so deep-seated and deep-rooted that they don't care. They'll be like, well, even if that was true, fuck him. He's a blah, blah, blah.
Exactly right. I was going to say, it's going to be one of those disingenuous, like, okay, yeah, we were wrong about X.
Yeah.
You know, something. They'll take some fact out of that story or whatever it was. Okay, yeah, it turned out that this was true, but this is why we blah, 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 blah.
Doesn't mean he's not a racist. He thinks all Mexicans are rapists and murderers.
Yeah.
Okay. He thinks there are good people on both sides. Okay. Yeah. Whatever. Believe what you want, man. I could only do so much.
Yeah.
Alex Jones said, the Matrix is coming after Russell Brand. Anybody that challenges the globalists, anybody that challenges Big Pharma, anybody that's popular that comes out against the establishment is going to be accused of assaulting women. Now he comes out against the New World Order. That's the other big one that he's been on. I was trying to think of that in my head. Big Pharma is one of them.
New World Order.
That New World Order that's going on with... Klaus Schwab and those fucking globalist elitist creeps, that sound like fucking comic book villains.
Yep.
Yeah. He's come out strong against them too about this whole push for
weird timing, isn't it?
Yeah. Sure is. So once now because he comes out against the New World Order, suddenly the allegations are happening to him. One fan said, somewhere along the way, Russell Brand woke up and became a powerful dissenting voice who no longer served their agenda. No wonder they are desperate to destroy him. Someone else said, I've never seen women throw themselves at anybody like him. Nobody ever accused him of assault. Now, because he comes out against the New World Order, suddenly the allegations are happening to him. Then for clarity, I stand with Russell Brand. He's completely innocent. Well, that's a stupid
Can't necessarily
stance
say
too.
that either. But
Yeah.
again, how about we just let the facts play themselves out?
Yeah.
That's all. That's all I ask.
Offer someone the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. I mean, the fact
nice.
that he's demonetized is
Yeah,
that should be suable.
it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they have no right to do that. If it comes out and he's found guilty, even that, I don't know how that necessarily affects the content that's out there. You know what I mean? Just because I got to believe there's people that have been convicted of something that still have content on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Depends what side they're on politically, unfortunately. We've seen it time and time again. You brought it up yesterday with Go Fuck Yourself or Go Fund Me or whatever it was.
Yep.
They've done that consistently time and time again where they find some... They use their... yesterday you did too when we were talking about Russell Brand. But they use their own watered down, very malleable language to then hook anybody they want and just say it falls under this umbrella.
Yeah. What was it? What would they use? They called his audience mentally malleable. Is that what it was?
One of the people did. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
if the shoe fits.
I think there will be a profound amount of people who will stand by him. Normally, with allegations like this, your career would be over, but not in this case, which is interesting. He's a great content generator. He has the power to bewitch his audience. Okay, they're banking on that historically your career would be over. That's why it comes into question about why allegations like this come out seemingly out of nowhere. And then you trip all over yourselves blowing the girls involved from however, God knows how many decades ago or whatever.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that he's not 100% guilty of all of it. Maybe he is. I don't know. The point is, I don't trust you people that are reporting about
Absolutely not. I don't believe this to be completely fair and impartial. There's too many, and that's all your fault.
Yeah, not mine.
Right.
But
No,
theirs.
theirs.
Yeah. Done it to themselves.
You people.
Sorry. There's a there's a level of trust that must be there to get the masses to go along with you. If you can be wrong, again, you can make mistakes, you can issue corrections. That was not that big a deal, but when it's so blatant and so obvious, it's easy to see through, whether you believe it or not.
Especially when it's so contested at the time. It'd be one thing if you just got something wrong, find out down the road it was incorrect.
Yeah.
And you post a retraction or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Now this was under like the biggest microscope and scrutiny at the time.
Right.
When they doubled down, dug their heels in.
Yeah.
And swore by it.
Yeah.
So,
dude, I haven't watched 60 Minutes in 5 years. I watched it every Sunday for decades. And it took Leslie Stahl looking at Trump going, but Mr. President, it's just not true. It's just not true. And it was like, no, it was obviously true, Leslie.
Right.
And he's making the claim. Your job is to not tell him he's full of shit. Right. Your job is to research whether he's full of shit and then come back next week with a report if you want. He is the most fucking famous person on planet Earth. There's always a story there.
Definitely.
So when he says the Hunter Biden laptop is a thing and you just dismiss it, whole cloth, out the gate, when we were already talking about it and knew that it was legit.
Yeah.
It's just not true. So 60 Minutes had, like, that's what they got from me. I know it doesn't mean anything to them. I know they don't care, but they lost a viewer who was with him religiously for decades over that. Right there was like, oh, I get it.
Bought and paid for.
You have a team that you're playing for. And so nothing can jeopardize that to you, Leslie Stahl.
Yep.
Well, I'm done. I'm out. I'm not playing that game with you.
Your integrity
Sorry.
is gone.
Yeah. If you're willing to lie about that, what else are you willing to lie about? I'd had enough.
Exactly. As you should.
Yeah. My brother did the same thing with Rachel Maddow. Oh, God, it just kills me that I used
guy.
to listen to fucking that guy, Rachel Maddow.
Yeah.
Rick Maddow. And you know, I've said it before. I asked him, like, what are you going to do when you find out, which you will, when you find out she's absolutely full of fucking shit? He said, I'll never watch her again.
Okay.
And he's never watched her again. Like,
all right.
Oh, welcome to the party.
Are we starting to check him off the list?
Yeah.
What is he still watching then?
Sports.
Okay.
He loves his Red Wings. You know, he knows more about the Wings than the goddamn front office does. And golf. And football.
That's not a bad way to go.
Yeah. And then he loves his movies. So, yeah. Michigan State, I believe you called this right away. But officials on yesterday delivered notice of termination
It's official.
to Mel Tucker.
Yeah. He gone.
Yeah, you just can't jack off on a phone call these days. Yeah. You know, what's this world coming to?
Took that Tuck coming thing a little too fucking seriously.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. After a prominent rape survivor and activist accused him of sexual harassment during a phone call. You know, this is the crazy. The fact that he signed a $95 million 10-year deal, you know, 2 years ago.
Yeah, they have buyer's remorse. This
Yeah.
is I mean, whether this turns out to be true or not, this was just a perfect scenario for them to get
Do you really
out of
think
this
that
deal.
he was doing that poorly of a job that they wanted him out?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Because of last season, the start of this season, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I mean, it
think
seemed
he's-
ridiculous on its face.
It was.
The
And I
contract.
was pressured to do it or whatever they did. That was, I think they realized that was a mistake.
I wonder if it was a university, not Michigan State, just because of the Larry Nassar shit that blew up in their face.
Yeah.
And the way that things were handled, like we can't even give the illusion that
they've had a rough
possibly
stretch,
we
haven't
don't
they?
we
The
don't believe
shootings and
all
shit.
women. The what?
That's shootings and everything. They've had a pretty rough stretch.
Yeah, that's Michigan State.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You know?
Burn a couch.
Yeah, exactly. What happened to the good old days? We
I know.
just burned couches and sold T-shirts about it.
Cedar Village, the good old days.
Cedar Village. I love me some Cedar Village. Michigan State officials suspended Tucker after that report in USA Today without pay. That was starting on September 10th, pending results of a Title IX investigation. Athletic director Alan Holler released a statement announcing their intent. I, with the support of administration and board, have provided Mel Tucker with written notice of intent to terminate his contract for cause. This notification process is required as part of his existing contract.
All right.
Notice provides Tucker with 7 calendar days to respond and present reasons to me and the interim president as to why he should not be terminated for cause. Well, they both admit he jacked off on the phone.
Yep.
You
It
know?
just says that he says it was consensual and she says it wasn't.
Yeah. So what's he going to offer now? No, I really mean she was into it. Mm-hmm. So this action does not include the ongoing Office for Civil Rights case. That rigorous process will continue. They could fire Tucker for cause if he engages in any conduct which constitutes moral turpitude in which the university's sole judgment would tend to bring public disrespect, contempt, or ridicule. That third word's the key to me. Ridicule. Like, your coach jacked off on the phone. Millions of people have done it. Millions more will.
Yeah.
Every fucking dude is jacked off. You know, whether you do it phone sex, you got a long distance relationship going, and you get a little jerk.
It's
on the
all just
phone.
generic, like conduct unbecoming.
Yeah, but it's still
generic,
funny.
It is. It's just a generic term
Yeah.
that is sort of a catch-all.
Yeah, it really is. And the ridicule part, it's like everybody does it, right? On some level, some way more times a day and all that. Like, there's levels to jerking off.
Yeah.
Every human being does it. Girls, don't act like you don't flick that bean.
Yeah. Come on.
Dudes jack their fucking shit too. This guy's no different. You know?
Well, you know, on a video,
But-
on a call with somebody makes
Yeah.
it a little different, but
Well, phone sex has been going on forever.
sure. Again, the only thing it comes down to is consensual.
Yeah.
It's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And whether or not it was a sexual harassment or assault or whatever they filed that under.
But if your thing includes potential, disrespect, contempt, or ridicule of the university, If you find out that the coach jacked off on a phone call, the ridicule's coming. The beat-off jokes are coming. The signs behind game day are coming.
Yeah.
You know, Tuck's coming. Those jokes are going to roll out constantly.
Yeah.
Does that constitute ridicule of the, like?
Of course. I mean, it doesn't even have to
do.
go that far. Like I said, I mean, it's they already had it long before a first joke is made. It's just a generic catch-all term that they can use to sort of encompass anything they want.
Yeah.
To end that contract and not have to pay it out. That's the biggest part of it, that they're going to save $80 million.
80+ million.
Yeah.
So the university has become aware of various facts that have led to the unfortunate decision to terminate your employment for cause. That's the jacking off part on the phone, right?
Yeah.
That's what they became aware of?
Yep, I believe so, yeah.
Yep.
I think that's where the line was crossed.
Right. At this point, the university has amassed a body of undisputed evidence of misconduct that warrants termination for cause. Again, I think they're talking about the jerk off on the phone moment.
Well, I'd like to know a little bit more just to be sure, but okay. Yeah.
Tucker invited Tracy to the campus to speak 3 different times. On 2 occasions, she spoke to the team and players and staff about sexual violence and sports culture.
Oh, see, in his statement, he says that she spoke once. Just a weird, random thing. He issued a statement, and he makes the comment that she had only spoken once.
Well, we had heard that there was a scheduled second one.
What just said in that she spoke 2 or 3 times, whatever that just said.
So on 2 occasions, she spoke to the players and staff about violence in sports culture, sexual violence, and once to be recognized as an honorary captain at the team's spring football game.
So that's 3.
So that's weird. Okay, she was invited to the campus to speak 3 times. On 2 occasions, she spoke to the players and staff about sexual violence and wants to be recognized as an honorary captain. Okay, so so that is a little weird.
Yeah, again, it's the little things like, okay, what did you mean by that? And I never paid any attention to it till it just came up there, but I remember that being one of the things in his
100%.
statement in there that said that somebody that spoke to presented on the campus one time by my own invitation or something, however it was worded along those lines.
Right.
But very specifically one time. It's just a weird thing that I caught.
Yeah. There's just more to this story.
A lot.
I don't know. You know, if you invite a guest speaker on to speak whatever and get paid, by the way, paid handsomely for an hour speech, there's no need for you to spend 30+ minutes of time on the phone with that person dozens of times.
Yep.
Like
each week or whatever I think they said.
That's what you do with a girlfriend. That's not what you do with a guest speaker.
Yeah.
Who pops into town and you know.
Oh yeah.
So there was clearly something.
He was
going
like,
on.
"Damn, okay,
Yeah.
I see what you got going on.
Yeah.
It's a good-looking chick, put
Yeah.
together, solid. Spend a little time together.
Yeah.
And,
My wife's a pain in my ass.
Yeah. And,
Kids are grown.
Sure. So she liked the cash and the kicks.
Yeah.
I believe, right? Those
The Jordans.
She got some Jordans and a
Big
couple
fan of
$100,
Jordans.
I think, right? A little,
Venmo.
little pay. Yeah.
Hell yeah. $200 and some Jordans. It's a fucking friend, man.
Yeah, sounds like a prostitute.
These always get me, and I know I'm just a caveman in my thinking and whatnot, but, you know. According to the complaint filed in the university's office in December, Tracy sat frozen for several minutes while Tucker made sexual comments about her and jacked it. Again, I get it if you're in the office in a locked door, but dude, fucking hang up the phone.
You're on the phone. Wasn't it? Yeah. Wasn't even like a Skype call, was it? It was audio?
Yeah. I thought it was Skype originally.
I thought it was a video call, FaceTime or whatever. First when I heard about it, but then every time I hear about it, it's just audio.
Yeah.
Right? Are you touching your dick? Oh my God, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Click.
Yeah. Dude, you know I've been on your campus twice talking about guys being sexually violent. This is what I'm talking about, asshole.
And
Click.
hey, listen, we probably sound like total dick bags because this is somebody that is a sexual assault, rape survivor, and it's hard to say for sure how you react in that situation.
Right.
But I would think hanging up the phone is pretty easy.
Yeah.
I think
Especially
being in that situation, being face to face, I could see being paralyzed in fear, perhaps.
Not to mention someone's 8 states away.
Yeah.
It's not like they're around the corner.
Exactly. You're and Tuck's a huge, scary looking guy.
Yeah.
So I could see panic, fear, freezing if he whips it out and fucking starts slapping you in the face with it.
Yeah.
But this is just doesn't check all the boxes for me.
Tucker lastly said, Ms. Tracy's distortion of our mutually consensual and intimate relationship into allegations of sexual exploitation has really affected me. I'm not proud of my judgment, and I am having difficulty forgiving myself for getting in this situation, but I did not engage in misconduct by any definition.
Does your wife agree with that?
Nah, I doubt it. Although maybe she's just like, dude, I don't give a shit what you do with your dick. We both agree this relationship ended 20 years ago. And by the way, don't lose our $95 million contract, fuckface.
Hey, and listen, there could be, right, exactly. That's probably her most important thing. But the
last thing she wants to do is be.
Well, you could probably even if it was turns out it was completely consensual, and they find out about this adulterous relationship. Yeah, that could probably be seen as cause for bringing shame upon the university, conduct unbecoming. It's just a generic term that's not what we stand for. That's not how we want our school represented. Right. We can't fire you because you're a shit coach and a terrible recruiter. Yeah. And there's a fucking mass exodus of players out of... Yeah, exactly what it was. That it couldn't be football related. No matter how shitty he was, he couldn't get out. That contract was guaranteed.
He could go 1-11 year after year after year, and that was not grounds for termination.
That contract was guaranteed unless something like this happened. Yeah. That's all.
You just can't jack off on the phone with a stranger.
My tinfoil hat is on. I'm telling you.
Do you think if there was a recording leaked of him at a road game in Notre Dame doing phone sex with his wife that came out? Because that would cause the same amount of ridicule.
No.
People would still be like, oh my God, no, I don't think listening to him beat off on the phone with his wife.
I don't know. I think you're caught up on this ridicule thing. I think that's irrelevant on it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think that's anything to do with it. I think it's the fact that she's accusing him of sexual fucking assunt. It doesn't have anything to do that they're going to make beat-off jokes towards the university.
Well, why they include ridicule?
Because that's part of the verbiage in the thing. Yeah, but you're the one that's focused on it, not them.
Because I think that's coming no matter what. Because they haven't decided that he's guilty of anything. No, there's no criminal charges pending.
Yeah, well, I mean,
so what are they worried about? If he's not found guilty by a court, if the allegations are not able to be proven or anything,
it could be as much as exactly. It was a consensual relationship. It was a consensual relationship outside of your marriage. Yeah, an adulterous, consensual relationship. Yeah, they could fall back on that. They can fall back on anything. I just don't think. I think the ridicule part of it is.
I'm sticking with the beat off jokes.
Fine, go ahead. You do you.
I'm entitled to my opinion, and you're probably right. But I like to think too that. The idea of Mel Tucker, you can't picture Mel Tucker without his gigundous cock out now, just getting fucking.
I picture him like sitting on the edge of a bed.
Yeah,
that's all. That's what I see now. That meme needs to be made of Tuck sitting on the end of a bed.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, dude. The picture of him treating his dick like it's
one of those players,
or like it's playing Indiana in the '80s, putting a beating on that dick like they would on Indiana football in the '80s. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or Nebraska nowadays, or the last 20 years, anyways. One of those, and it's like, oh man,
maybe
if he beat his opponents as hard as he beat his dick, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
There's tons of jokes there.
Lots.
Yeah. Yeah. The Tuck coming writes itself.
I know.
And Tuck going.
Yeah, it's true. Better Call Saul, one of our favorite shows.
Yeah.
Love me some Odenkirk.
Big Bob.
Hate me the liberal attitude, that so many of these guys have. They show their true colors a lot. It drives me nuts. I see it with, what's his dick, too? Mr. Walter White.
Oh, yeah.
He's super libtard, dude. Cranston, thank you. Bob Odenkirk acknowledged that he ignored the advice of this doctor he had, and then he had a heart attack.
Okay.
But he called him a, quote, cranky conservative doctor.
All right.
When I was 50, I went in. He was a heart doctor, Cedars-Sinai, and he had signs all around his office at this point saying, "We do not accept Obamacare." I hated this side of him, and
new doctor. Go fuck yourself.
That I only learned about over time. He was his doctor for like 20 years. So he recommended taking statins to lower his cholesterol. And I said, well, I don't know. I don't have heart disease in my family. He goes, just take them. He ended up getting a second opinion, and that doctor was like, whatever.
All right.
He endured a near-fatal heart attack in 21 while filming Better Call Saul. Did you know that his heart stopped for 18 minutes?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's no bullshit. That's got to be really close.
That's got to be really close.
Really close.
Yeah, you start. There's no oxygen to the brain at that point.
Yeah. He said, I should have listened to the first doctor despite disagreeing with his conservative political leanings.
Well, hey, listen, better late than never. Let's get that message out.
And I had a heart attack. And I think the first doctor was right. This cranky conservative jackass was right because he was a good doctor. His political point of view doesn't have anything to do with his ability to judge your health and your health choice and needs. I came out of it. Yeah.
There we go.
Welcome.
There we go.
There you go, Bob.
There we go. Finally,
Welcome,
somebody.
Bob. Yeah.
Somebody with some common sense. It's sad that it took 18 minutes of fucking death to get you to that point.
Yeah. He's got a strangely fresh energy towards my whole life. I feel like I was born again. Hey, everybody, let's get back to work and make stuff. Blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's a valuable lesson in there.
I think so too. Exactly right.
Know?
We don't have to agree with each other, but it doesn't nullify everything that comes out of their mouth.
No.
Right.
Far from.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So
he was a very well respected doctor in your fucking world.
Yeah.
You went to him for 20 years.
Yeah.
Long before he voted for Trump.
Yeah, exactly.
So that changes now, all of a sudden changes everything, and that's a microcosm of society. Like, everybody needs to step back, take their fucking head out of their ass.
And even after all that, he's still calling him a cranky conservative jackass.
Okay, fine. Whatever. Fine.
I just would love to ask these people that are so
just don't
vocal.
discredit him for it.
Right.
That's my point.
Right.
You can disagree with it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make his anything he says or does any less valid.
I would love to ask people like Bob Odenkirk, like, dude, are you sure? Are you sure you're right about everything?
They feel like they are, yeah.
I know they do. Mm-hmm. But are you sure? Or is it just cranky conservative jackass? Like, that's such a pompous, shitty attitude.
I can't even imagine what it's like living out in that fucking cesspool of L.A. like that. Just, I mean, it's the entire mindset. It's the swamp they live in. Yeah. They're surrounded by it. Yeah. They're drenched in it.
Yeah. So, it's all they know.
Yeah.
And it is one giant ass kiss, talk behind your back kind of shit. That's the environment. So if that's all you knew, you're grooming each other to behave like that.
Yep.
Which is why
and they get rewarded for it.
Yeah. The flyover part of the nation that you guys also, mockingly say. That's why they don't give a shit about you.
Nope. Learn to swim.
Yeah, exactly. I got it.
Let's hope.
I do. Drew Barrymore is reverse course.
On?
Well, she's now deciding to pause her talk show as the writer's strike in Hollywood drags on. So.
Oh, she was one of the ones that was coming back?
Yeah.
I saw there was a handful that
and it was like, guys, there's a lot of other people involved. We don't really have that many writers. And so we're just going to creep back and do a show. Please love me. I love all of you. Bye. And they were like, you bitch. Mm-hmm. And so immediately she jumped right back out of that boiling pot.
She doesn't need it.
I know.
That's all,
Enjoy your vacation.
Well, if the problem is, and this is what we talked about in the first place, she doesn't need it. But the wardrobe, makeup, the set people, everybody else, they are the ones that do. Yeah. Crap, those are the people that are dying on the vine because there's no work for them right now.
Right.
So if that's why you're going back, I know I don't need it. I'll fall on the sword. I'll take the heat for this, but we can go back into production without writers, which technically is not just crossing the lines, but they're crossing a picket line, literally.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing it to take care of my people, there's something somewhat noble in that.
Yeah, if you stand on that.
If you stand on it.
But 24 hours later, bailing.
Yeah.
Which Bill Maher did too.
Enough heat. I know they said they were coming back, and then did he recoil too?
Yeah. He postponed again, and his statement was, well, it was at a stalemate. There was no movement, and it was like, okay, this is bullshit. This has got to end. And he since said now both sides have agreed to talk, and so because of that, we're going to hold off on coming back. Yeah, I kind of think it's bullshit.
Bullshit.
Although I don't know, he does take a lot of shit from people. Bill does, and so maybe he would see that and go, "All right, I'll give you another week or two. Figure it out, get it done." I was talking to G about it last night, and he's like, "Yeah, you haven't even felt it yet, though, because they should be filming all the new episodes and blah blah blah, all this shit now, and so it's been going on for 8 months or whatever." He's right, but my point was, what sitcoms that are currently airing are you watching? What TV shows? What talk show? Like, honestly, none.
Well, I mean, it depends on what about excuse me, Mighty Gemstones. Righteous Gemstones, excuse me.
Righteous Gemstones. Yeah.
That's just an example of something that's current that I am watching, that I would watch. So it doesn't, all of it on some level.
I think of whatever's being produced for TV. Movies would be different. Movies are,
it's affected too.
Yeah, 100% it is. I'll live with that. But as far as network television, any of that stuff, now if we were waiting on the final season of Better Call Saul, that would be a different story. That would be like, shit, man, that's just Walking Dead so jumped the shark and wokeified themselves.
Yeah.
Like, they've never met a character now that's not lesbian, gay, or black.
Right.
And so, they took that show and just went over the woke deep end. And so it's like, oh, yeah, well, the second half of the final season of Walking Dead, you're going to have to wait. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, but again, that's just your personal preference.
Yeah. But honestly, I can't think of anything.
Yeah, but that's your perspective. You're talking about everybody that watches that shit. People that only have network TV. Because there's still people like that.
Yeah.
Lots of people.
Sure.
That's all they have. That's all they watch.
Yeah.
So.
To me, with everything we have, like, give me any movie or any series that ended 2015 and back. I'll take any of them.
Yeah.
And I've watched plenty of rom-coms and older shit and like, oh, wow, I remember this series. And you start watching and you go, oh, my God. It's almost like a relief. Like, yeah, they're not afraid to go anywhere with so much of this stuff.
Just think, you're not going to any more new Star Wars stuff.
I'll live. I'll be just fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I will. Trust me. So Drew Barrymore said, I've listened to everyone, and I'm making the decision to pause the show's premiere until the strike is over. I have no words to express my deepest apologies to anyone I have hurt. And, of course, to our incredible team who works on the show and has made it what it is today. We really tried to find our way forward. I truly hope, blah, 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 there's a resolution for the entire industry very soon. I think she and Bill Maher had good arguments about so much of that.
True. I mean,
if you
can do it without writers, although it's because it's not just the writers now, right? It's directors too.
Yeah.
Is that all it is that's affected? Is the writers and directors? It's the Writers Guild and the
Screen Actors Guild
and the Screen Actors Guild
but the rest of them are kind of taking a knee with them, like the directors. And,
because they're all kind of up. Or no, the directors they settled, I think. That's what it was, yeah. So it's the writers.
Not that they can make any movement without the SAG after.
I'm trying to remember what happened when Jay and Chris were here. We were talking about it.
Yeah.
There was something about the directors, because I thought that was coming up next, and he was like, no, they just settled.
Yeah.
But whatever it was. Regardless.
But
I mean, you can still do the news. You can obviously still do commercials. You can do all these other things that don't require writers.
Why could you do commercials? Those require writers.
I mean... nothing new can be written. Maybe they already have it. Maybe, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe if it's just, maybe if there's no dialogue in it. Maybe if it's just, footage. I don't know.
Yeah. Other daytime shows have resumed and are technically not breaking the rules of the strike under certain conditions. That includes not promoting work covered by television, theatrical, or streaming contracts. The View, for instance, and other programs. Thank God we get The View still going.
I know, right?
That's great.
If anybody needed to be fucking on strike, it's those twats.
Because they fall under the network code, which makes them technically exempt.
Like newscasters.
Right.
They can still do what they do.
Right. Barrymore said in a now deleted video that she was trying to make the right decision for employees while still
why is it
respecting
deleted?
the terms of the strike. Yeah, great question. I know.
Oh boy.
I know there's nothing I can do that will make this okay to those that it is not okay with. I fully accept that. I just want everyone to know my intentions have never been in a place to upset or hurt anyone. It's not who I am. I believe that. I think Drew Barrymore is like one of the sweetest humans out there. It's amazing. She's not super fucked up.
Yeah.
Just being a child of Hollywood,
right.
like that whole thing. I really do get good vibes from Drew Barrymore, that she's a good soul, kind person, wants to do the best. You know, I saw Tim Burton was bitching about this, about the strike the other day. He was talking about doing AI shit, you know, with like Beetlejuice, or they were talking about something like that. You know, write Beetlejuice 2 or 3 in Tim Burton style.
Yeah.
And he's like, it feels like part of your soul is gone and blah, 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 and all this shit.
On some level, if what he's done, his craft, his expertise, you know, like he has very, like a Tarantino, let's just say, right? You know what I mean? Just very unique. So anybody that, if you were to take his style, hijack his style.
Yep.
And use AI to write a script and a screenplay in his style, that even though it's plagiarism on some level, because you're taking his craft and utilizing it, taking his techniques and utilizing it and styling. Yeah. Now, technically, it's not, because it's not, but on some level it is, and I can understand that.
Well,
wholeheartely.
Here's the only reason
because nobody else can do it like I do it except AI.
Right. I would say none of you people gave a shit in the least, and in fact, you were insulting in your attitudes about you don't like it, learn to code. That attitude, when all you thought that AI was going to affect was menial tasks.
Well, you know, I mean, that's a generic wand that you're saying. You're saying every actor had that opinion? Is that what you're saying? No.
But I'm saying that the mainstream politicians, Hollywood, a lot of that narrative
came out and thought it was just going to be McDonald's workers.
McDonald's workers were going to be eliminated. It was like, we'll go learn to code then. And it's like, okay, I'll put that in the back of my mind to remember for the future. That's a really shitty attitude to have to go learn to code. How insulting to someone. And so it's going to be hard to get. And by the way, you work, Tim Burton, where you're in the most shallow industry on planet Earth. So if the industry figures out that, because it might not be tomorrow, but what Troy and I talk about over and over and over again is not about tomorrow.
Oh no.
Where does the deep fake shit go in 5 years when you're able to do this for fucking $1.99 on an app that can make it so convincing that you're fucking anyone in your neighborhood on video and you're not able to tell the difference?
Right.
Think about how many lives can be destroyed. How many people don't trust anybody in that scenario?
You're already seeing it. I mean, like I said, exactly. It's not
Look
there now.
5 years down the road.
Those Rogan ads we were talking about, where they have his voice dubbed, his AI-generated voice dubbed over some video of him. They strategically take video with him behind the microphone like this, where you can't really see his mouth.
Yeah.
And they dub in, and it sounds like he's endorsing a product.
Yeah.
And it's like...
Is that the one I'm seeing over and over where it's like... Because Rogan's team is famous for clips coming out where it starts with him with a question, and then a guest usually takes the ball and runs with it, tells a funny story, whatever. Where it's Rogan, and a lot of times you can see his mouth.
And it's close. Like, it's similar.
Oh, my God. Wow, that sounds amazing. Hold on. Tell me more about that. And then they cut to the guest who's on a Shure mic, but he's not in Rogan's studio. So that conversation never happened on the air.
Yeah.
And then this guy goes, yeah, this new product for your teeth is amazing. Yeah, whiten your shit overnight. And it's like, oh, you douches.
But that's the infancy of it.
Yeah.
And even that is enough to go, I don't think so. Yeah. In a few years.
Dude, there were a couple that got by me originally where I just didn't see it coming. I didn't know what it was. Exactly. It was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, one was just Rogan. It didn't cut to anybody else. It was just Rogan talking about something. Because there's a couple of things that he does like promote, kind of like something that he takes, like brain fucking something, something like that. So there's legitimate clips of him sort of promoting a product in his show that's not a a plug.
Right.
You know? But then that's what they try to make this look like for a different product, but it's not. But same thing. If you're not paying attention.
Yeah. And the point being, with someone like Tim Burton, you work in the most shallow industry on planet Earth. Do you think that all those people you made literally $1 billion for over the years with all of your movies and the creative content that you came out with, do you think those people are going to turn their back on AI? That if it in 5 years' time is able to do Beetlejuice better than you could do, like without question,
yeah,
are they going to be like, no, that's immoral? We're not going to pay $100,000 for this machine learned thing to spit this out. We're going to go with the original Tim Burton. It's got heart. You think that thing's not going to learn heart over the next 5 years?
Of course.
Fuck out of here. Of course it is. Whatever issue you have with it about, it doesn't have that human element. It doesn't have that heart element that you only get with humanity. Today.
Yeah. Well,
today it doesn't.
And there's some weird things, when you start getting into like intellectual property too. Like that Beetlejuice was his. Right? He wrote it. Now the studio probably owns the rights to it.
Right.
But whatever. But it's you get into that intellectual property thing. That's a weird line to tiptoe.
Yeah. And you're 100% right. The studio will own all of that.
Right.
And so if the studio then goes, I'm not dealing with Tim Burton. He's a weirdo and a fucking dude. We can throw the thing in this $100,000 machine we bought, and it'll spit out a script better than he could ever do.
Yeah.
And then
like Lucas and Disney.
Yeah. We could just churn this shit out and make it, franchise it, and he's got no say. None.
I'm waiting for Alfred Hitchcock to come out with a new book.
There you go. I mean, Tupac's new album should drop anytime now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But, this is going to affect everybody. I just wish more people would have stood up, that people that did have voices, and go, hey, that's no way to treat your fellow human. You can't just mockingly tell them to learn to code because their job's going away. You know what? A lot of us don't understand the ones and zeros at all on any level and have no interest in doing it. That doesn't mean I can't deliver pizzas.
Well, it does if that's no longer a job for fucking people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
But if you take all the menial tasks away, we can do it all with drones.
But it's been a slow process all the way along. Cashiers, checkout lines is a great example. The self-checkout thing. That's not even really AI, but that's just technology
what do you do with everybody
taking
then?
jobs. I mean, you realize how streamlined like plant work and shit is now with the automation of the stuff.
Yeah, Tesla plants are incredible to look at.
Yeah, I mean, there's one guy pushing buttons, overseeing what used to be 30 people on a line.
Right.
Putting in bolting and welding and all the shit they used to do. Now it's giant robots that just put everything together.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that's a natural progression. But they just thought it was going to be physical.
But is it a natural progression? Because when you're talking about like, oh yeah, the Pony Express doesn't work, isn't in effect anymore. You dealt with that, okay? It's like, yeah, the Pony Express was one thing. You're talking about multiple industries just being wiped away overnight.
Yeah, it starts at one, and it just continues to go. I mean,
so I don't know what...
think about how many cashiers are out of work right now.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. I mean, when every store that you go into with the self-checkouts, that used to be 10 old ladies sitting there checking out the shit.
Yeah.
Now is
but
one person
they're still hiring checkout people at every one of those stores. If you wanted that job, you could probably still go.
But there's one person to replace what used to be 6.
Yeah.
So what are those? Are those 6 people? Do they have a right to bitch? They should have that job.
Well, you better have a plan for what they're going to be doing.
Okay. Well, like learning code. I mean, it's a generic learn
what
code.
What would you do if I said learn code to you?
No, learn code is just a generic fucking term for just because that's what you do now doesn't mean that you're entitled to do it forever. If electricity went away yesterday or tomorrow, and I no longer could be an electrician because electricity didn't exist.
Yeah.
I couldn't just fight because, well, that's all I know how to do. I guess I'm just shit out of luck now. No, you have to find something else to do. That's what learn to code means. It means okay, well, If that's going to take your job, then the point of Learn to Code is, if, opposed to it being so insulting, is okay.
Oh, I think it was very insulting the way
you think, but
yeah.
Okay, then take the job that controls those fucking things.
Yeah.
Then you control yourself. Don't let somebody else take your fucking job. If that's all that you're capable of doing,
fine.
Then that's more about
then
you
the
than
Tim
anybody
Burtons
else.
of the world don't get to bitch about what AA is going to do with their stuff going forward.
Maybe, maybe not.
So maybe nobody has a job anymore. Then what?
Maybe, maybe not. I'm just saying.
Because we can build robots eventually that can do everything.
They
can write your books, they can write your scripts, they can do your movies, they can do your talk shows.
You either stop it all or you let it go. But you can't pick and choose, is what I'm saying. You don't get to say this is okay, but this is not.
Do you understand what I'm saying, though? That the attitude was, yeah, you don't like it, learn to fucking code.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big thing. And they meant learn to code. Mm-hmm. Sorry, ditch digger.
Yeah, well, that's
learn to code.
Because that's the new generation. That's where the world is going.
Yeah.
Evolve or die. And so, okay, I'm sorry, that job doesn't exist anymore.
So that seemed like a good answer to the mainstream media, to politicians, to snobs everywhere. Learn to code was the answer mockingly. I don't care what anyone says. It was done like you menial fucking nobodies. Learn to code if you don't like it. Well, okay, fine. I guess I'll learn to code then. I guess I'll go back to a trade school now in my 50s and learn to code. Oh, Tim Burton now has a problem and he wants the world to get upset because AI can write a better script than him? Yeah. Learn to code then, fuckface. How's that feel?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Yeah. I'm just saying, he's not going to like it. And when he's going to bitch about it, I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah,
because I remember the attitude towards everybody else when it was cashiers and McDonald's workers.
When it doesn't affect you, it's real
drivers.
easy to point that finger.
Goddamn
and
right
that opinion.
it is.
Yeah.
I wish nobody would point the finger at anybody and instead have the attitude of, okay, don't insult me. What are we going to do about this? And Andrew Yang was like, universal basic income. Let's start at $1,000 each. We're throwing trillions of dollars at war machines every fucking year. How about we just give people the basics? Here, you can keep the electricity on at your house. You can put a few groceries on the table. We're going to start you there. You're not going to live in a fucking, mansion somewhere, but we'll give you the basics so that you can eke out a living. You'll still be okay on that basic level as long as you're responsible with it. Now, going forward, so you don't have to worry about that shit anymore. Now we can go forward and discuss, okay, now what do we do? When all of these lines of work that people have done forever and know how to do and are comfortable with, now what do we do? Because you need to have that discussion at some point. Yeah. You can't just eliminate half the jobs in the country and then expect people to,
Yeah, but it's not just AI. It's technology, it's automation, it's a million different things.
Sure.
And the world evolves.
But like I said, it usually evolves much slower. When you're talking about AI and going forward, you're talking about rapid pace, being able to wipe out industries quick.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
Yeah.
And to think that it was somehow, it was ignorant to think that it was going to somehow just be limited to flipping burgers and checkout machines. Oh, that was short-sighted and fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
I'll be honest, I didn't see it.
Nobody's entitled to a fucking job. Nobody's entitled to a particular career.
If
they outlaw coal and just miners all just get to go like, well, I guess you got to pay us now because I've been a miner my whole life. That's all I know how to do. I can't, it's too late for me to learn anything else.
Yeah. I didn't see it coming, and neither did they with the deep fake shit with the oh, yeah, it writes poetry better than anything anyone in the history of humankind could ever do. And you think it's going to regress? Wrong. It's going to get way better to the point that no one's going to want to read your fucking roses are red, violets are blue poetry when this thing's spitting out shit that'll,
dropping haikus on your ass.
Yeah, it's dropping legit coups out of nowhere.
Haikus, low coups, all the coups.
All the coups. Yeah. Name a coup. It's dropping it.
For sure.
And all of a sudden, your shit looks like is the most elementary level stuff. And again, I'm not talking about tomorrow. I'm talking go 5, 10, 20 years down the road where it's like, oh no, that whole world that we've known is completely different. I don't even know how we got here. I'm just worried about where that goes long term.
No, we're good. No,
welcome to the party, Tim Burton. Yeah, The rest of us, had a little bit of a heart for people. At least I did.
Yep.
I felt for them like, no, man, I get it. If that's
problem is you can't stop progress and you can't control it. So nobody's entitled to anything. These clowns or the like.
Sure.
So if your job is in the fucking dog, if your job is on the fucking block, then figure something out. Again, learn to code was a bit flippant, but the message was, okay, then learn something new.
I know what you're saying. I think their message was more on point, learn to code. Yeah. But you're probably right on some level that it was more of
that's the future. So exactly, you don't want to be you don't want to be a dinosaur.
Do you understand what I'm saying though about the Pony Express goes away? That's one industry because we updated. It didn't mean you didn't need a driver then to drive mail around the country. It expanded an existing industry.
Yeah.
It didn't eliminate humans.
No, neither does this. You have to understand. Okay, well, they need coders. They need people to be on the other side of that as well.
Oh, that's short-sighted, though. Don't you think this shit's going to... Yeah.
You don't think technology is the future of all fucking careers?
Do you think the coders are going to be writing the code, or you think the computers are going to write their own code?
On some level, it's
the computers will. They're going to bypass humanity in no time. Well, again, 5-10 years down the road.
Let's just fucking end it right now.
Yeah. Dude, I don't... Going into coding now would be silly, in my opinion. Silly. Mm-hmm. You think your ones and zeros are going to be better than what the fucking computers can kick out? Are you nuts? Mm-hmm. Yeah, no way. What? So that learn to code worked for about 5-10 years, but now it's like, I don't even know what industry you'd go into now. Okay. I don't even know what's a good one to go into.
I don't know. We're just doomed, I guess.
We are.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, don't be afraid. Just be ready for it. Mm-hmm. That's all.
Sure.
I mentioned in the start of the show some wacky NFL stuff. I mean, terrible seeing Nick Chubb last night. Please don't send me no more pictures like the one you did. Jesus Christ.
The both of them. Isn't that scary how similar they are?
Yeah.
I mean, terrifying. 2005, he did the same thing.
Yeah.
On the same leg. It goes the wrong way.
Was it 5 or 15?
2015. Isn't that what I said?
You said 2005.
Oh, 2015.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was like, damn, was that was in college?
Yeah.
Right?
Georgia.
Yeah.
Did you see Shefty's tweet about that? The fallout from that? No. Adam Schefter.
What did he tweet?
He tweeted that basically the framing of his tweet was, and this is last night right after it happened.
Okay.
Nick Chubb hyperextends knee, tears ACL, MCL, OCL, PCL, DCL, hamstring, everything, in 2015. Browns fear he did this again or something like that. So you got to get like all the way through this tweet before you realize he's not talking. Yeah, he caught so much shit for it. Yeah. They were like, really, dude, that's how you're going to word this?
Yeah.
He's catching a lot of shit about
He's catching some shit, man, from time to time. I mean, he caught shit over, what's his name, getting hit by the dump truck.
Haskins.
Yeah. Where he's like, yeah, he sucked in the NFL, but, it wasn't wrong.
No. And he wasn't wrong about this, but it's just, and maybe that's somewhat intentional clickbait shit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think somebody at that level would need it. They're literally the Schefter or Rappaport, whichever one that was. That I think it was Schefter. I'm pretty sure it was Schefter.
Which led to, he got so spanked with the Dwayne Haskins one that he had to make an asshole of himself on the Monday Night Football broadcast with Damar Hamlin, where he had to go so over the top trying to pretend to care that it came off as just fraudulent.
Yep.
It was like, dude, you can't even have a human conversation about this. You're so worried about something you might say blowing back on you and not appearing to care only about the player's safety and health. And you came off looking like a douchebag in the end. So we had the Patriots-Dolphins game over the weekend. That was that Sunday night football?
Was that Sunday night or Sunday afternoon?
I think it was Sunday night.
I have the Sunday night game, yeah.
We have Dale Mooney, season ticket holder for the Pats.
Mooney, you're an asshole.
Yeah. Well, he's a dead asshole.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He didn't throw a single punch during a brawl that killed him at Gillette Stadium, according to his wife, Lisa Mooney.
Oh, my.
Father of 2 died following the incident in the 300-tier section of the arena. just before 11 p.m. Sunday. So, yeah, it was a night game. He was at the game with a group of friends. Wait a minute. You're at the game with a group of friends in your hometown stadium, surrounded by Pats fans.
Yeah.
And you get your ass beat so bad you die by Dolphins fans?
Well, was it multiple? Did he just take one shot, fall and hit his head?
No, he took like a few punches.
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently people were fucking with him, taunting him.
Get up, faker.
No, before the punches.
Oh.
They were taunting him. It's like, what kind of home road crowd is this? This is weird.
Some pussies, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Lisa Mooney told Boston 25 News that she heard her husband was being taunted by multiple Dolphin fans during the game, and that footage shows he did not retaliate during the ordeal. She called her husband a great dad to their 2 adult sons. She feels numb. She can't even believe this is real. One witness, Joseph Kilmartin, described the attack by a Dolphins fan as hard to watch. They started tussling around for a few minutes.
Okay. Nobody jumping in there. Huh?
Nobody. No, none of you guys. No, this is your
I
fucking
swear,
guy on your
every
team,
fucking
man.
Sunday, Monday, you get flooded with videos of fights at stadiums.
Yeah.
These fucking animals.
What's wrong with these people?
They're just clowns, just Neanderthals, man.
Yeah, I agree. At one point, another Dolphins fan walked over. He punched him 3 times, and the man just went out. It was pretty hard to watch. Mooney was hit twice in the face before falling into the seat unconscious. Several other witnesses gave similar descriptions of the attack, which caused him to crumble. One word I can really use is shocking. My thoughts go out to that man's family. It's awful what happened. His wife says he had no known medical condition that could cause him to pass out, and he has the patience of a saint. I don't know what happened. Hope it was worth it, Dolphin fan dipshit.
Yeah, spend the rest of your life in jail.
Yeah, and you know what? Obviously, you got to think alcohol's involved.
Yeah, generally. Some people are just fucking ginned up cocksuckers anyway, and don't really need it, or they're already blown out by the time they come in.
Yeah,
because there's plenty of that.
I just don't understand.
Even if you didn't sell alcohol in the stadiums, you'd still have it.
Yeah, I've never understood ever my entire life the visiting fans at a Lions game. I've been the visiting fan. I've gone when I was a little kid. Niners came to town, and my dad would get tickets and take us kids, and we'd wear Niners gear. And Lions fans were great to us. Mm-hmm. Inevitably, in the Silverdome, there'd be some fight in the fucking upper deck.
Yeah, right.
Always.
Like Tiger Stadium out in the bleachers. There's always something
hell
going
yeah.
on. I watched a video. Somebody was filming. It was Vikings fans walking into the Buffalo game, and they were just filming. They weren't talking shit. They weren't doing anything.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they are just getting – I mean, they're not getting assaulted physically, but, I mean, people are just screaming at them, throwing shit, yelling at them, pointing at them. You know what I mean?
In a horrible accent.
Yeah.
Horrible Philly fucking accent.
It's just like, my God. I mean, you can't be a Minnesota fan. I'm from Minnesota. My job brought me to Buffalo. I want to go see my fucking Vikings, and I got to put up with this shit.
I have no interest in going to the game. And part of that's that. I went to a game last year, Cardinals, and just to see Brady with Tampa Bay. And I just can't imagine. There were multiple people around that were big Brady fans in the Cardinals game. Mm-hmm. Obviously, lots of people want to see Brady on his kind of farewell tour. So there was a shitload of Brady jerseys in there. A lot of people talking, but it was all good-natured and fun.
Yeah.
How you end up coming to blows that does kill someone in this case.
Yeah.
I just don't. It's never made sense to me.
I wouldn't handle it well.
What?
I can let a lot of things roll off my back.
Yeah.
But somebody fucking screaming at me and shit like that, I can't guarantee I wouldn't react, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I try.
You mean the Philly fans?
Yeah, well, right, yeah. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
You see it all the time, guys arguing, and I mean, it's always people with opposing fucking jerseys.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's whoever somebody's talking shit to somebody else, but I'm not going to be the one to start talking shit.
Hell no.
And I'm going to be the one that'll just okay, whatever.
And
but at some point, I'm not going to just take it.
And if you're at a game and you've got fans from a visiting city and wearing their jerseys, they're just as proud of their team as you are yours. And if their team scores a touchdown and they stand up and cheer, that's not the end of the world.
Right.
It doesn't mean throw shit at them.
It doesn't either. But and believe me, there's enough when you're the visiting team and you win and you're talking all kinds of shit to the home crowd. Okay, well, you're going to get your ass kicked. Probably. I'm not saying that's
shouldn't.
No, I understand. But I mean, fuck around and find out, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying this guy deserved it on any level or was doing it, but you see that all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Miami beating New England.
I wouldn't dream of it. Talking shit
No,
in
I
an
understand,
opposing stadium, but
a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And Miami's supposed to beat New England.
They should be able to. You should
On
be able to
some level.
fucking.
Well, you can.
You should be able to shit talk
can
when your team wins.
Well,
people do it
celebrating
all the time.
and talking shit are two different things. And it depends on how you talk shit, whether you're going to talk it personally to somebody. If you're just celebrating your team winning, okay.
Yeah.
If you're turning around and you tell somebody to suck it, well, they're going to take that a little personally too.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
there's plenty of blame on all sides.
I don't
want to
act like it's acceptable on any level, like fuck around and find out.
Well,
like fuck around and find out to me should be reserved for, you punched a cop. Okay. Like you going, see you in Gillette next year, fuckers. We won again.
Yeah,
like that shouldn't get your ass whooped.
Generally, that's not what's going to get your ass kicked.
Well,
that's my point?
Yeah, I get. I mean, it happens in every
they go,
stadium
fuck
every week.
off, sit down. They go, nah, fuck you, and then the fuck you start flying, and then the next thing you know, you're dead.
Once the fuck you start flying, dude, it's
sure.
Yeah, it can go quick.
But exactly,
You've lit in a few.
They are allowed to, celebrate and rejoice in their team's fucking victory.
Yeah. But
you
keep
also
in mind,
have
how many times have we seen the lowly Viking fan walking up the stairs, leaving early, and the whole two sections go, nah, and they're all pointing at him and shit.
And that's fine. Take your shit and go. You want to turn around and fucking start talking shit to somebody at that point. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, see what happens.
Well, I think I'd rather be dead in the Miami fan situation or the Pat fan. Yeah. Than this Bills fan.
Okay.
Buffalo Bills fan appears to have got a little overexcited, okay, at his team's home opener Sunday. Kind of a weird sequence of events unfolded. Ended up with him being rescued by emergency services from a 40-foot hole outside the stadium.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So they're building a new stadium there in Buffalo, right next door to the current one.
Putting a roof on it?
I don't know. I doubt it. They love the snow and that kind of shit. But so they've dug out some stuff. This dude climbed a fence and then fell in the hole. Took him 20 minutes to rescue him. He did say he was under the influence of alcohol, LSD, coke, and marijuana.
Oh, that's a good tailgate.
Yeah,
that's a good tailgate. Yeah.
I don't know who threw that tailgate, but I mean Buffalo's known for some great tailgates. Yeah. Is that where they do the mustard squeeze?
I don't know about that one. I know.
Or is that
they jump through the tables? They jump through the tables. I don't know what the mustard squeeze is.
Yeah, where they're one guy stands there and everybody's got
like a
mustard
bukkake
bottles,
with mustard?
like bukkake with mustard. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that was Buffalo.
Maybe. Who fucking knows? But I know they do tables.
Yeah, the tables.
I've seen somewhere the mustard bukkake. I just didn't realize that was a thing.
Yeah. Yes, it's quite a scene because someone gets just painted in mustard. So it took 20 minutes to for this rescue operation before the game.
Oh, boy.
Security and fans advised cops they had seen the man strip nude, of course.
That's the LSD talking.
That's got to be the LSD, right? Coke wouldn't do that.
No,
Weed wouldn't do that.
Yep.
Alcohol could.
Yeah, that's a
LSD, alcohol. So they see him
he's got going.
strip nude, goes into the porta potty, covers himself in human shit, and then goes out, hops the fence, and falls into a 40-foot hole.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Yeah, it's quite a day.
Yeah. It's got the...
worth it for the story?
Reminds it for the... Well, no, probably not.
Yeah.
Not for him.
Well...
That's got DeVito in It's Always Sunny written all over it.
Yeah.
Take LSD at the Eagles
Frank
tailgate.
could do something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an episode.
Is there?
And he's stuck in the fucking Porta-John and everything.
Okay. Yeah. So then he hopped this fence into the construction of the new Bills Stadium just west of their current spot there in Orchard Park. The only injury he sustained was a small cut on his forehead.
Yeah, we'll tell the what do you get there? Fucking hepatitis sets in.
Yeah, especially into that small cut on his forehead.
Blood work hasn't come back yet.
So he was also issued an appearance ticket in Orchard Park for criminal trespass. That's no big deal.
Nope, not at all.
That's nothing. $25 fine and you're on your way.
No, I think I'd rather be him than the dead guy.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but it was the whole covered in shit.
Yeah, it
and
washes
it's not,
off.
It's not your shit. It's others'
Yeah, but
shit.
dead doesn't wash off.
Yeah. Yeah. Dead doesn't wash off.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just my wish to be dead most times that I'm thinking like, I'd rather be, I'd always rather be the dead guy. Yeah.
For the most part, yeah, than covered in shit, I guess.
Covered in shit sucks.
Yeah, that's temporary.
Remember that vinegar, whatever stuff we were spraying on the weeds and stuff to kill them?
Yeah, the homeopathic weed killer.
Yes. That shit got in my nostrils for like a week. All I could smell was that vinegar. It was so potent. So this is like 30% vinegar mixture where the normal is like 5. So it's just super potent. Imagine what other people's human shit doused all over you would be like.
Fortunately, you have LSD and alcohol to mask all that.
And blow.
Yeah.
That's true. So who's the odd man out there? He wasn't
smelling shit.
Yeah, maybe. No pun intended. So who's the odd man out there of that drug combination? Alcohol, LSD, coke, and weed.
What do you mean odd man out?
Like if you had to remove one for the day, like this guy doesn't belong at this party.
Probably the LSD. I mean, it's probably not the. I mean, that's a go hard kind of deal. You can maintain.
I was thinking weed, but maybe that's my bias towards weed.
Yeah, I think so.
You think?
Yeah.
Because like coke and alcohol, great together.
Yep.
Those two guys are good friends. They don't steer each other wrong.
Yeah.
Level each other off. They're a really good party combination. Yeah. Coke and alcohol. LSD, I've never done it. I don't know what it does, but it sounds like,
then you don't get to speak.
Now we're ramping things up.
Yeah, that's how you end up covered in shit in a hole. It wasn't the weed. It wasn't the blow. And
I wasn't blaming any of the guys involved.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying.
Don't disregard alcohol. Alcohol's made me do some really stupid shit over the years. Now, I've never gone swimming in a porta potty, but,
that's where it takes it to a next level.
So you really think that's LSD?
He wanted to go swimming or something. I don't know. He tried to jump in the fucking pond in the porta shitter. Wasn't big enough.
Yeah.
Saw a big hole over the fence. Thought he was going swimming there. I don't know.
Yeah.
You just can't fucking ration with it.
Tell you what, though, I'm glad he did.
Great for the story?
Yeah, for the story for us.
Sure. I wish there was video. That's all I can say is I wish there was video.
Yeah, me too. You want to do an Ask T-Ray really quick and get out of here?
Yeah. Hey, this part of the show is brought to you by your insurance expert. Are you paying too much for health insurance? Are you uninsured? Health insurance can be confusing. Nick Matthews from Your Insurance Expert is an expert in health insurance, life insurance, and Medicare supplements, so you don't have to be. Call Nick Matthews at 248-914-1173. That's 248-914-1173.
All right, T-Roy. Dear T-Roy.
Okay.
My husband has 4 years.
For F-O-U-R or F-O-R?
F-O-R.
Okay.
Has for years felt the need to talk filthy and ask sexual questions of other women. It bothers me something terrible. He's upset that I ruin his fun and insist he isn't hurting anyone and that he likes being the life of the party. We have fought over this for years and I'm exhausted from it. I told him I don't see the need for him to do this and he continues to tell me I need to quit being so unreasonable. I don't know what to do and I'm ready to just give up. It doesn't make me love or respect him. I actually loathe him when he does it. Please help. Repelled in Iowa.
See it?
Yeah? Just like that?
I mean, listen, if this guy wants to choose that over his wife.
What if his wife's an annoying twat, though?
See it? Then that might be why he's choosing it.
Yeah.
But if this has been for years, you've expressed yourself, he couldn't give a shit. I think the writing is on the wall.
Maybe.
Are you being a little too, but listen, how would you feel if your wife, every time you went out, started asking guys about how big their dick was and all things like that?
Whoa.
Okay, then.
Way over the line.
Exactly right.
Come on.
Exactly
Act
right.
like you've been there, sweetheart.
And you say, hey, listen, I don't need you fucking talking about guys' dicks and shit in front of me, okay?
Yeah.
It makes me uncomfortable. It's disrespectful.
Way over the line.
And she goes, you know what? Go fuck yourself, Pee-wee. Just don't worry about it. Loosen up. I like talking about guys' dicks. They think it's funny. It makes me fit in.
Yeah, that bitch has got to go.
Okay, bye.
Now, on the other hand, guy's just having a little fun. He's just blowing out the lines with some friends, being the life of the party. Nothing wrong with that. She needs to fucking loosen up, man.
Okay.
But if she's talking about dicks like that, absolutely uncalled for. She's asking for a fucking fat lip or to find a new...
Yeah, the writing is on the wall here.
Yeah. Well, it's been the writing's been going on for a long ass time. It sounds like
for years.
Yeah,
verbatim.
All right. James writes in that Connor is spot on.
Again, these guys, this bromance is just blossoming right before our eyes.
These guys are going to get it on before this show's done. Yeah. let's see. He is spot on. These school boards are out of control. It should be a requirement that it's made up of parents, not professional communists.
Amen to that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The old PTA.
I just had it in my. I mean, I'm so detached from that scene. I just kind of assumed that it was made up of mostly parents.
You would think.
It's like, you know.
No, it's become an elected official's position. It's become an entry level position. You know,
Power position
for politics, basically.
Yeah.
You know, local board to get your foot in the door. You know, for a political career.
Yeah. Did you know that was like, or did you figure that out recently? Like what
more
we've
recently?
seen?
I mean, not in the last week or two, but yeah. I mean, I've seen
over the
it
last
going
few
down.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't like I wasn't aware of this 10
that
years ago.
No, it wasn't like that 10 years ago.
No.
No, at least not. Well, even if it was, because I didn't have time for that shit. I never fucking was going to do that.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you are, let's say it's going to be parents, right? Well, what happens if you've joined this thing and then, you know, your kids are gone? So you're just automatically out. Now somebody else's parent has to come in and do that. Are you only allowed to do it while your kids are in there? There's some variables to it that I don't really know, right? Like if you're doing it and you're great, do you get to stay there forever because your kid was in that district? I don't know.
I guess we've seen parents through the years where it's like their kids graduated years ago, but they're still connected to the community and they have a love for the school because they went there and their kids went there and that kind of thing. I just always assumed that was sort of the thing, that there was always some connection. Like, I just assumed, you know, Boy Scout troops were made up of fathers from
their
it wasn't
one
just
of the
some
boys' kids,
right? Some random weirdo that's like, I don't have any kids and I've never been married, but I want to go camping with all your boys. Yeah. Like that seems fucking weird.
Well, and that's, I mean, I did Cub Scouts and Weeblos for a few years. I never made it all the way to Boy Scouts.
No, me either.
But it was always, Ed Seke's mom was our den mother.
Okay.
For Cub Scouts at one point. But it was always one of the troops' parents.
Yeah, there was always a parent.
Was our scout leader or whatever it was called.
That's what I remember too.
Troop leader. So yeah, I never had any experience with, you know, somebody else just doing it for the love of the game.
Yeah,
but,
right. So. I kind of thought that about especially really young kids, like whether they're, you know, one of the fathers or mothers, whatever, was coaching their daughter's soccer team or t-ball team, you know, or whatever. Like I don't know. Like when you get older, I get it. It's like, oh, he's on a travel team and they've got a legit coach.
Yeah, right. When it was just rec league shit.
Yeah.
It was just volunteer stuff.
But at the same time,
any money in it.
I coached a couple soccer teams of, you know, mixed. I mean, of like boys and girls. Like they just chased the ball around. It was bullshit. Yeah. I reffed for those groups. And then I coached a team. And it was my sister's friend. Like she used to babysit for this woman and her daughter was on a team and they didn't have a coach. And they asked me. So that was kind of the connection.
Yeah,
like
it's
I didn't
not just some random.
Out.
They didn't just have a, you know.
No, but that's
hiring
close
process.
to random. I didn't have a daughter on the team.
No, right. But they need need somebody to do it.
Right.
I mean, if you don't have a parent that's going to do it, somebody still has to do it, and then you got to figure out how to get it.
Right. So. Which I did.
And back when we were kids.
And I didn't diddle any of the kids hardly.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Nice. That's impressive.
Yeah.
But there's a, you know, there was a completely different sense of community back then than there is now.
Yeah. Agreed. Mm-hmm. Very much agreed.
We were a village.
God. Because I just think of Hillary, and I know that's not what you mean. All right, everybody. Why don't we kill it there, T? We'll be back tomorrow. I think we're doing an earlier show tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So have a great rest of the evening, folks. We certainly appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll see you all then.